Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan battle video. Apologize for the voice, I'm getting over an illness, but I'm getting there. I know I don't sound great, but I feel a lot better than what I sound. But I want to do another one of these team building guides. And so what I'm going to do in these team building guides is whenever a new 200% leader comes out, I'm going to do some team builds for that particular leader skill and show you some. And this leader skill is a doozy that these guys have here. So this is for the new Dokkanfest LR Goku and Vegeta join forces card, right? So the thing that's crazy about them is their leader skill has a lot of coverage, and there's actually a lot of very creative team builds you can do. So their leader skill is join forces and movie heroes 170, and then pure Saiyans get the full 200. So I'm going to show you some team builds that are focused on like mostly 200% units. Some team builds will have some 170s in there, and then they'll kind of be a mix. And then I'll just show you some other good units you can play around with, right? Now, the thing with this is I don't actually have this unit. I didn't pull them, and I really don't feel inclined to go in and pull for them right now. I'm happy with what I've got. So I'm going to be using kind of like a proxy unit in the leader slot that kind of has a similar look to the card, okay? So let's go into my team tab. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm using these guys as my proxy. Just because it's AGL and it's the Goku and Vegeta, it's kind of cute. It's like the kid version of it, right? So just pretend that that's the Dokkanfest leader. So this here would be a very prototypical team build. This would be a movie heroes focused team build. And this would have the traditional formula of 2 attacking rotations and then floating supports. Now, I say this in all my team building videos, but you don't always have the luxury to do that. The event will always dictate your team, and keep in mind there isn't one team build that's always the best for every situation. You have to constantly adjust your team build based on the event. You might need to adjust for type advantage, you might need to have like more defensive units. It really depends. So take all the information from all these team builds and kind of build the teams you need to based on that, right? So this as a typical team build would basically be, this would be the new Dokkanfest on one rotation. With this guy, they share like 5 links together, and then the other rotation would be with this Gogeta, and they share just as many links when that one transforms. This guy's going to work in a lot of the very difficult content, so anytime you're going up against a movie boss or pure Saiyan, you probably want this guy on the team. He's going to be a great floating support orb changer. He's going to be super defensive. You can keep him on rotation if you need that defense on rotation, right? This guy actually works well on this team build because he's a time limit support. So he's going to be supporting both of the Gogetas. He won't support the leader, but he'll support the Gogetas, right? And then this Piccolo is also just a ridiculous defensive option, and he does support movie heroes. Now you can use this Piccolo even if you're not running full movie heroes, just because he's defensive enough that he's just a nice unit to have, right? So that would be just a pretty standard, like really nice movie heroes type setup, right? So here's another team build. This would be like a very all-out offensive team build, no support, but like this guy is one of the better offensive units in the game. He actually links very well with that leader as well. Carnival Goku, we all know how ridiculous he is. He's one of the best units you can put on this team if you want to. He's going to get the full 200% here. And then you could run the year 7s. The year 7s don't like link the greatest with each other, or maybe with like they're probably in like the 3 to 4 link range with units on this team, but they're so offensive and ridiculous that they're always worth running. And then you could, I just threw this guy out as another really good offensive unit, right? So what I try to do on these team builds is just show you different units you could run, but this guy would link pretty well with the leader. Has a very good transformation where you get a full heal, which is good in difficult content, right? Okay, now we're going to get into some theme builds. These aren't always ideal, but just to show you how versatile Join Forces is, it really allows you to go into some very interesting team builds, right? So this would be mostly a 170 team because these aren't pure Saiyans, but you basically can make an androids team. So you can see we've got the Tech 18 and 17, Zero and 19, Physical Cell because it's Cell and Cell Junior, so they're Join Forces. These guys are a good floating android support. These guys aren't that great right now, but they're going to easy at some point, and they're decent android support. So if you wanted to run a build like this, it would be pretty much a way for you to run androids without maybe having a proper androids lead. And what you could do is you could just, the thing with this leader is they do have it's a pseudo transformation. They call it a morale boost, but he will link with himself. So if you somehow got one of them transformed, you could just keep them smothered together on rotation, Or if you want to focus more on androids, you just kind of float them out of the way and then let your androids team kind of have fun. This honestly isn't like the greatest team, but it's just kind of fun to show you. You can do these weird theme builds, right? So I got a couple more theme builds here. So this is what I call the Joint Forces Special. So this here, there's a bunch of these like really good Joint Forces units that maybe have limited teams, but you can actually make like a really good Joint Forces team. So one unit that's not on here is, I believe there's a physical LR Goku and Piccolo, and they link really well with this guy, so you can include them on here as well. But you could run these like Goku Piccolos as a rotation, but the Goku Piccolo also links well with the Krillin Gohan, who also links well with the Goku Frieza, who also links well with the Hit Goku. So you can do some crazy things. On this team build here, I think Hit Goku and then Goku Frieza link up pretty well, and then you could link Goku Piccolo up with the Krillin Gohan, and then you could just float the leader, or you could just run the leader, smush together, run different rotations. And then I wanted to just give Paragus and Broly a shout because they're not really runnable right now, but they are a 40% support. And we think of these guys as a pure Saiyan support, but they also support Joint Forces. So if you are ever running a dedicated Joint Forces team, once they EZA, they could be a very good option there, right? So yeah, that's my Joint Forces special right there. This would be a Future Saga themed team. So there are some very good Future Saga units. Now on Global, this unit and this unit don't have their EZA yet, but they will get them. And even though there's no like extreme units other than these guys are ridiculously good after the EZA, and they actually share like 4 links with this unit, and I think with this unit here. So they actually link up okay enough. And then Gowasu and Zamasu is a defensive support. These guys is just kind of like a Mafuba special. Once again, just to have like a more thematic team. Not maybe the best team you would actually want to run, but once again, if you're missing, say, a proper lead, you can use this unit to actually make other teams, which is kind of crazy, right? And then this would be like a Universal Survival Saga theme. You'd have enough reps of U7 that maybe you could squeeze this guy in. And then once again, you'd have like the Goku Frieza here. This guy is a Universal Survival Saga. These guys, they're not good, but just to show you as part of a theme. And then the Goku hit again. So you can do a bunch of like kind of thematic teams here that are kind of fun, right? This one here would be like a Goten and Trunks themed teams. Once again, these aren't bad units. This actually is a semi-runnable team. These guys don't have their EZA, and they're actually still quite powerful. These guys are decent. Their EZA was a little underwhelming, but they hit really hard. And these guys are still very good. Like these two right here, they're still plenty good. So if you like the Goten and Trunks, obviously if you got this guy and you want to run the Goten and Trunks team, you might as well just run them as the lead, right? But just to show you that you can kind of do something fun, right? And I do believe Tech Krillin falls into the movie heroes. So if you are running like Goten and Trunks units, that Tech Krillin's actually a pretty good support you can run. Okay, now finally just getting to the end here. This is just showing off other units that fit on the team that I didn't really put on the other teams but could fit in somewhere that I just want to mention. So STR Vegeta, very good unit. Broly, Chila, and Lemo, they could just be an interesting floating option. I think once the standalone Chila comes, she'll be really good with him. So they're just like an option if you want a floating support type unit. Tapion and Minosha are interesting because they support storied figures or siblings bond. There is a sprinkling of siblings bond units, and I think very few storied figure units. But if you wanted to try to build a team with a lot of siblings bond, so for example, that androids team, like those 17 and 18s are all siblings bond, you could actually throw these guys on there as a support. It's a small 20% support, but something you could think about. This Turles, if you happen to have enough, well, you're probably not really going to have Terrifying Conquerors, so if you just really want Turles as a standalone unit, but they're really not going to fit that great, but I just want to show them as a good, powerful unit. This God Vegeta, I think, is decent enough to run, and this Piccolo actually is ridiculously good, so if you're in an AoE situation, definitely toss this Piccolo onto the team, right? So, anyways, there you go. This is one of those teams where there's just so many options to run, right? But I would say if you're just looking at like flat out best builds, I think some mixture of like the units in this first set and this second set, like I feel like these are like your most high tier in terms, like this is showing like kind of your best support and defensive options with the Piccolo and the God Goku, and this is showing like your really powerful offensive options. So once again, Don't look at one of these team builds as like the number one best team build, but just look at these types of units and try to make the best setups you can. So anyways, guys, if you need help with team building, I have a Discord with the team building channel. Feel free to hop in and join. It's open to everybody. I do have a link to it in all my video descriptions. Feel free to hop in if you want help building your own team. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch you all on the next one.